All right, let's talk Nebraska Cornhuskers. Pivotal year for Nebraska. Matt Rule, expectations are increasing for this team. And as we get closer to the 2025 season, a little bit of pressure building right now. We've got some guys looking to take that year two, year three leap. We got freshmen coming in. We also got some other new guys making a big name for themselves at critical positions. And there's one in particular, Nebraska fans. You should learn this guy's name and learn it extremely well. I think he'll be a key part of this team going forward. We'll get to that news and some very interesting data in just 1 second. But first, I'm Nick. That is Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this Nebraska Cornhuskers team under Matt Rule, they have been the epitomal example of recruit and develop. That's what they've been trying to do. But now that we're, of course, closer to the pivotal year of Matt Rule's tenure, his turnaround plan, they relied on more transfer portal moves just to fill out the roster in some critical areas of need. And one under the radar addition looks like it's paying big time dividends. We're talking about Jir Khan, the transfer defensive back, coming in and making a lot of noise. Let's pull up the first of two articles here, then we'll get into the data. This first report is courtesy of Husker Corner. Largely lost in the shuffle of some big splashes in the transfer portal, Jir Khan has spent fall practice making Nebraska coaches take notice. Matt Rule singled him out on Friday as a newcomer who was standing out and impressing the staff. They're just hungry, and their hunger feeds other guys, Rule told the media. He flies around. He's competitive. He can cover. He's like having another Malcolm Hartzog out there, Rule said. He can play in the nickel. He can go play corner, safety if he needed to. He'll be on special teams. So we're talking about a playmaker. We're talking about a versatile guy. Great sign for this transfer coming in. But Jir Khan's story is very, very interesting, and it speaks to the kind of person he is and the mentality he brings to this Nebraska Cornhuskers program. Let's pull up a little bit lengthier piece, courtesy of 24/7 Sports, and I'll work through this pretty quickly, but it's very, very interesting and very insightful. From the report, Southern Illinois transfer Jir Khan showed up in the winter ready to get to work, but offseason surgery slowed his well-intentioned plans. For Khan, a defensive back who plays with hunger and a chip on his shoulder, the wait proved plenty tough. It was pretty hard, Khan said Monday. Obviously, coming from FCS to a bigger school, you want to put your best foot forward and make an immediate impact, but obviously I couldn't. That was just God's plan. I was extremely eager to get back. Coaches kept holding me back during the spring because they see I was very eager. When I probably shouldn't have been working out, I was just working on my technique, anything I could work on to push to the limits. Again, we're talking about a guy who just loves football, hyper competitive. Love to see this. I feel like that's what you have to do to get back to show how much you really want it. I want it a lot. I want it really bad. This fall, Khan was recognized by head coach Matt Rule for his positive attitude and appreciation for the facilities and resources at Nebraska and willingness to work. Khan, a native of Kansas City, played high school football for Jamar Mozzie and then spent 2 seasons at Southern Illinois, an FCS program without the amenities enjoyed by players at Nebraska. So long story short here, Khan's a worker. He's a grinder. He's a competitive guy, and he's shown up making a name for himself. Versatile playmaker as part of this Nebraska secondary, which they absolutely need. Because if you look at all the weaknesses for Nebraska, there's been a couple of them to point out, but coverage grade specifically, real concern. Let's pull up our next chart here, Miles, if you don't mind. This is looking at the top teams in the Big Ten based on their coverage grade per Pro Football Focus or PFF. There's a lot of data on here, of course, but if you go all the way over to the far right, you see the coverage grade ranking top to bottom. Oregon the best, Purdue the worst, and you can see Oregon with about a 92, 91.6, Purdue in the 40s. That's not good. Nebraska, unfortunately, much closer to the Purdue end. You can see there with a grade of just 70.4, ranked 15th in the Big Ten. Ain't gonna get it done, guys. Right? You want to be a team trying to get in the college football playoff. You want to make some noise, maybe make the Big Ten championship game, good bowl game, whatever your standards, whatever your expectations are. 10-win season, having a coverage grade where you're ranked 15th in the Big Ten ain't gonna cut it. You need guys to come in and step up and contribute. And the guys you have currently on the roster, it's clear you can't rely on them too much going forward. And the next chart here kind of highlights that. Let's pull up this little graphic here I put together. So this was Nebraska safeties versus Jir Khan. So I took the names out of it because I don't want to drag any kid through the mud, right, who had a poor season or anything like that. So I'm just going to focus on their top safety grade from last year based on playing a representative sample of coverage snaps. So if there's someone that played 5 snaps, I'm not going to count that, of course. And then I took their safety average. And then I took Jir Khan's average coverage grade. Again, this is all from 2024 season. And you can see Nebraska's top safety, and you can see their average safety, and you can see Jir Khan. Khan, significantly better. Right now, I understand there's going to be some people saying, well, level of competition. Fair point. But let's be totally honest here. If what we see in the FCS level all the way down to the Big Ten level in terms of what you have to do at safety, it's a lot of the similar kind of stuff. A lot of it depends on the success in front of you. How good are your corners? How good is your pass rush? You're covering up at the safety position for deficiencies in those areas. If a corner gets beat, it's on you to make the play. If the running back gets through the front seven as a safety, it's your job to get him down. Again, the level of competition of tackling, let's say, an Ohio State running back versus a Southern Illinois competition, that's fair. But from a high level perspective, it's not that different. And you can see Jameer Khan's performance much better than what we saw from Nebraska's top safety and their average last season. So when you wrap all these things together, the Nebraska Cornhuskers added an under the radar stud here, a grinder, a hard worker, hyper competitive dude, a Matt Rule kind of guy, and his actual raw performance far exceeds anything Nebraska got last year. In fact, even if you put a little haircut on Khan's performance, he's still basically as good as Nebraska's top safety. If you cut his grade by, let's say, 5 points, we're talking almost 10% there. So we're looking at an addition here for Nebraska. Special teams, versatile nickel corner, safety, outside, play everywhere while being an addition to the talent pool, making this team better in a critical area of weakness. I think we're seeing a transfer here emerge as a key addition, and I expect Jameer Khan's name to be called a lot this upcoming fall for Nebraska. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But Nebraska fans, you first in the comment section below. We're talking safeties, of course. So let me ask you this: who is the greatest safety in Nebraska Cornhuskers history? It's a very interesting question. I mean, it's a storied blue blood program, so you could go back forever. You go relatively recent history. I think you go back to the 90s and that time frame and find a few guys. Give us, though, your opinion. Who is the greatest Nebraska Cornhuskers safety of all time? Put them in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on the latest here out of Nebraska?
Yeah, Nick, when you hear this story, I love this for the Cornhuskers specifically because of the 3-year plan that Matt Rule put in place at this program. And I think it literally follows what they were trying to do to a T. We heard, and we did a story a while back. Go search it out. It's really good. It shows, the 3-year plan of Matt Rule at all teams he has been at the collegiate level, whether it's Temple, whether it's Baylor, and just shows the big jump year 1, year 2 to year 3. It really explodes onto the scene. So I think we're seeing that here. And it's just early on, first 2 years, recruit, develop, recruit, develop, recruit, develop. And then year 3, focus a little bit more on transfers, bring in veteran guys, help. You got your recruiting developed base now, and you can bring in transfer guys. And I think we saw that this year. Last year, 2024 class, 50th in their transfer portal ranking. This year, 13th in the transfer portal ranking. And like we always say, rankings are fine, rankings are good, but you got to see the play on the field. And to already see Jameer Khan coming out here and turning heads, making it back from that injury, working, grinding, getting onto the field and impressing. I love that for this team being a contributor because that shows a few things. It shows the teams can be better at the safety position with Khan coming in here, but it also shows that Matt Rule's plan that we talked about is going in the right direction. What he has been doing at the schools he was at before, how he's able to turn those programs around massively, shows this team is going in massive right direction. The transfers they focus on this year are paying off, and the strategy Matt Rule has looks like it's going to pay off for the Cornhuskers. I expect a big year out of this team, but it's guys like Jameer Khan, this level of play that shows the plan is moving in the right direction. These are some of the bullet points that you need to help solidify, hey, is everything going according to plan? What is going on? We're 13th in transfer portal ranking? How are those guys actually going to help this team? It seems like a guy like Jameer Khan will definitely help this team in a lot of different ways, whether special teams, whether corner safety, however he can play, he can get on the field for this Cornhusker team. And I'm really excited to see what they're able to do with that this season.
Yeah, and I just want to go back because I can probably see some people thinking now watching the video, well, this guy played corner. One, he played corner for Nebraska. I think he's a guy that'll play a lot more of those nickel corner, that safety kind of role, that flexibility moving around because he came from that FCS level. So to answer any questions ahead of time, that's why I project him to play a more safety-ish role as opposed to the standard outside corner. Maybe he will play that, but that's not where he's playing right now. And the fact that Right now, Rule and company see him as a versatile playmaker. It feels more of a safety guy than a standard outside corner. So just to cut off some questions at the pass, that's where I was going there when you look at Nebraska safeties. And to be fair, they were not great at safety. That's why I highlighted that statistic. But look, Khan's story is, I think, a really important one because this is a guy who battled through a lot of adversity. He's not a tremendously highly rated transfer recruit. According to 24/7 Sports, he was the number 733rd overall transfer prospect, or depending on which matrix you use, he's either 733rd or 246, right? So we're not talking about a guy who is a really highly talented guy. He's not going to really rocket you up the rankings, but he's a glue guy. He's a hard worker. He's versatile. I have him as a safety, as a playmaker. Some people may have him as a corner, right? Nebraska may view him more of as an outside corner before it's all said and done. I think this is a guy who can come in and be a great team player, fits the mold of what they want to see with Nebraska. This was a great addition by the Cornhuskers. Again, it didn't draw the headlines, it didn't get any media publicity, but it's these kind of moves, these bridge moves, when you add versatile playmakers that are good locker room guys that can push teams over the top. It's the top flank talent that will win you most of the games, but it's guys like Khan, hard workers, attitude guys, versatile players that can push you from 7-8 wins to that magical 10-win number, maybe even to the postseason. I think we'll look back at the end of the 2025 season and we'll look at the addition of the versatile playmaker Jir Khan and say, what a steal by Nebraska.